Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live session today. Really excited to kind of bring this session. Number one, you see Craig Fulton's smiling face on video, so it's always good to have Craig on for conversation. But again, to be able to introduce Josh Constine to the IT Nation. So first and foremost, Greg Lally, GM from the IT Nation. And again, for those of you who don't know who Craig, I'm sure you do, for as many years inside the IT Nation and now with Evergreen. Welcome and thank you for all your efforts.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. It's exciting to be here. I think this is interesting. You and I are both on as we're both displaced from Tampa Bay after this hurricane. Good to see you're doing okay. And if you're tuned in, listening, and I hope if you were impacted by the storms, I hope everybody's okay, and we're going to get through this. So yeah, thanks for having me, Greg.
Yeah, right on. Well, again, thanks to Evergreen as well, to you and the whole team over there for making this possible. And I think we're really excited because, what we are able to bring with our partnership is to bring somebody like Josh to the table. So without further ado, we can bring him in and we can have him join the conversation. And Josh really is, like I said, it was a diamond in the rough, maybe, and maybe for me, maybe not for the rest of the world. Obviously, as a CNN contributor, but really loved our conversations prior to, and through IT Nation, we have 5 different tracks, and one of them being sales and marketing, and it's something traditionally that some of our partners and many of our partners struggle with. And it's something you're an expert on. So between the pedigree at Stanford and obviously your time at TechCrunch, maybe just a couple words of kind of your journey and share it with the audience, and we can go from there.
Thanks so much for having me, Greg and Craig. Incredibly excited to be here and really excited to come to this conference and speak with you all about how you can transform your business, especially the content and marketing and sales efforts using AI. There's such an opportunity for everyone to be able to become an incredible content marketer in the modern era with these AI tools. And honestly, this was a lot about how my journey to going from being at Stanford to being a CNN contributor and a TechCrunch editor to now being a venture capitalist. It all really thrived on this single concept of creating something in public that people can get to know you by. So I'll give you a quick overview of my background. I grew up in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York. I went to Stanford where I was studying sociology because my freshman year, Facebook came out and just transformed the landscape. I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was just ridiculous how everything changed when that social network came out. So I went on to design a master's program at Stanford in cyber sociology. So I was studying how people interact over the internet because I figured that was going to be how the entire world worked. What everything hinged on was how we interact in this space. So worked there, briefly worked in the music business, worked for Bon Jovi and the Killers, but then became the editor of TechCrunch eventually. So I wrote 4,000 blog posts while I was at TechCrunch, became the #1 most cited technology journalist in the world from 2016 to 2020, wrote the first ever coverage of companies like Robinhood and Figma, also wrote a giant investigation into Facebook paying teenagers $20 a month to install a VPN that sucked up all their encrypted data. That led to the shutdown of Facebook's teen research program, angry letters from senators to Mark Zuckerberg and him getting called out about it on Capitol Hill, and eventually the shutdown of their Onavo research and surveillance platform. And through all of that, what was wild was that, I never had any journalism background. I'd never done any content marketing. I'd never really done any writing in public until I started. But that's when I realized the incredible power of this. And, from all of that writing at TechCrunch, unlocked an amazing job for me at Signalfire, a $2.1 billion early stage venture capital fund, where I lead our consumer investing efforts, teach our portfolio companies fundraising and PR, and also lead the PR and content strategy for the firm. But all of this comes back to this idea of not being afraid to put your opinion out in public and start to build a brand for your company, but also a personal brand that people can really relate to. And happy to walk through like a little bit of my overall strategy that we'll get deeper into in the keynote and the workshop. But yeah, I would love to tell you more about what you can do to actually unlock that. And it just starts with putting paper to pen, putting keys to keyboard.
Yeah, I love it, Josh. And my role in Evergreen, we do a lot of M&A of small businesses, a lot of the MSPs that people that are going to be attending there. They found their business. They were techies. They, we call them accidental entrepreneurs. It was like a tech, had a client, got another client. Oh, I got to hire someone. Next thing you know, they have a staff of techs. So the whole company is ran by tech. And a lot of the new business comes from word of mouth referrals from one customer to another. And the industry is, I don't want to offend anybody, but for large part has struggled with marketing, and sales closely right behind it. So, in the world I'm in Evergreen, we meet a lot of companies. We look at a lot of their financials. We have a lot of conversations with business owners. They're all challenged with marketing and sales, and AI is the next big wave. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you put it together. I think our audience is going to have some takeaways here that'll help them get growth in their business. Because a lot of the people that are going to be at the event, they're now starting to think next phase of the business journey, right? Like whether it's an exit, a sale, stay on. The biggest driver is that organic growth that comes from sales marketing. So yeah, looking forward to hearing you put that together.
Yeah, luckily, as a VC, we struggle with the same problem. Like VCs, we give money, and money is somewhat undifferentiated. And so you really have to find a way to separate yourself from your competitors, from your peers, by putting out a different opinion and finding a way for people to truly know you. And this is how I went from being not even a journalist, never having written anything, to interviewing Mark Zuckerberg on stage in the course of about 3.5 years. And this idea was just all starts with put something out there about what you believe, start to make opinions. And so, for instance, anytime there's a major IT cybersecurity issue or incident that, rocks the world, that's in the news, you can go out there, take your personal expertise, your customer base, and think through how can they prevent this kind of thing from happening? What really happened? What is the insider's view of how this incident came to be? Where was the vulnerabilities that allowed this to happen? What were the inefficiencies? And then talk about what you would do if you were a business like your customers, to prevent this from happening. What tools could help prevent this? And I think what I learned as a journalist was that if I tried to write a piece of opinion without any anchor to it, without any reason why people should read it, even if I was incredibly intelligent and wise in my writing, nobody cared. It's all about distribution. But if you can take a moment that the whole world is thinking and talking about, take the CrowdStrike outage, and write your own opinion about it, suddenly you're talking about a topic people care about. And especially if they haven't read enough about it yet, you get to be the messenger. And when you are the messenger, you get to layer on your marketing, your sales efforts, your own personal opinion on top of that. And suddenly you're riding on the shoulder of this giant to incredible distribution and reach. And it's about something often emotional, scary, worrisome that people fear in their business. And when you can be there to make them feel safe and protected, they're going to trust you with their business.
Yeah, the one thing, Josh, I got to tell you, like when we found you, and kind of like I'm going, okay, this guy is super accomplished. He's super smart. I mean, look at again the degrees, everything you've been. I'm going, oh my gosh, he's gonna have no energy. We're gonna get on, and he's gonna be very, very smart. We have sometimes people who are very educated, but maybe not communicators. But I love your passion, and really, I think if you talk to any of our partners, they're all entrepreneurs, and Craig said accidentally, but they are entrepreneurs, and they have extreme passion for their job. So I think something that's going to really, connect with the crowd is your passion for what you do, and how you speak. And I'm really looking forward to that. So maybe at a high level let's talk about the kind of bifurcate it between your keynote and kind of the workshop at a 30,000 foot view, without giving away the trade secrets, right? Kind of what are you gonna hit on, and what do you think the delivery is going to be that folks should expect from that keynote?
Absolutely. So, and at this conference, I'm very excited to give one keynote sort of overviewing what is the major transformation that AI is making for this industry. What are the big places where you have opportunities to change your business? What is the overarching strategy of how do you do this? What tools do you apply? Where can you make big gains? Where can you leverage your time and say, hey, instead of having to hire more people, how can I get this done with a scrappy team and spin up a marketing and sales effort that really is making measurable differences in my business? But then I know that just hearing about it isn't enough. That's a great way to get you inspired, curious, thinking about what you could do. But to actually put it into practice takes some work. It takes you actually a little bit of trial and error. And that's where my workshop comes in. So on the second day of the conference, I'll be doing a hands-on workshop where we're actually going to help you write your first big LinkedIn post that's going to help you start to go viral on social networks. We're going to help you start to write your first blog post. We're going to get you comfortable trying using AI writing tools. And instead of thinking about it from the perspective of, oh, let me just punch in a prompt and push out this giant blog post that probably isn't going to be that perfectly accurate to my audience or what people are going to want to read. But how do you refine and make sure that you're putting in your own personal opinion, you're making things up to date, you're actually generating multiple drafts of a blog post or a social media post in parallel, and then choosing the best pieces to cobble together into something that's really going to resonate with your audience. And so we're going to get down and dirty in the trenches. We're actually going to try this out, and I'm going to give one-on-one feedback to every person who comes to this workshop on what could they improve on their post. And so, for instance, I'm going to walk through the template of exactly what performs on LinkedIn. I've worked directly with the LinkedIn head of the creator program, and she gave me the secrets to what their algorithm actually wants. What is actually resonating, and the kind of unintuitive tricks. Like, did you know that you shouldn't be putting a link in your LinkedIn blog post or social media post, because LinkedIn actually downgrades that. They want to keep people on their social network, not clicking out. And so if you put that link into your actual post, they're going to downgrade that within the algorithm. And so instead, I'm going to teach you how to put that in the comments while teasing it within the body of your post to get people to go visit that long form piece that connects them more deeply to your business. So we're going to walk through all of the tips and tricks for how to do this for social media, for content marketing, where to come up with ideas, how to brainstorm what to even talk about, how to go through the editing process of working out a piece of content that's going to look good, how to promote this after the fact. Because honestly, one of the things I've really learned in content was that, you should write once and promote twice. The same way you should measure twice and cut once. You need to spend twice as much time actually promoting this content and these sales efforts. Otherwise, no one's ever going to hear about them. So really excited to talk through all of that in the workshop. But, in the keynote, we're going to make sure everyone is inspired, excited about this new world of AI, not afraid of this. This is something that's coming to help you, to help especially the business owner be able to build a more profitable business that grows faster, that takes up less of your time. I think you are going to be, the people in the audience right now are going to be the biggest beneficiaries of this kind of technology. In a giant bureaucracy, it's actually harder to integrate these tools, but in a scrappy MSP, you can really make a huge difference in even just a few weeks by adopting these tools, adopting an experimental mindset, and finding what works for you.
I'm pretty hyped because, you'll find when you're at the event, everybody, when they're talking AI, they're just thinking tech tools, right? How can I leverage AI in tickets and writing responses to customers and doing time? No one's talking about it in marketing. So this is going to be pretty awesome to see.
Totally. And I think those are going to be huge places where AI also transforms your business across network management, better cybersecurity tools. Like, just for instance, in cybersecurity, deep fakes and social engineering are becoming such a hot topic right now. And it's a place where there are modern tools that can take a lot of the work and the sort of worry off of your back. Things like Dune Security, they're specifically designed for working on preventing social engineering and deep fake attacks. If you can bring these tools to your customers and say, hey, we're going to protect you with this. You don't need to worry about this. They're really going to confer that sense of trust, not to necessarily the end product, but to the person who brought it to them. So we can talk through some of those tools as well. But I really want to stay focused on where I feel like most MSPs have the biggest opportunity to gain. You guys already run a killer business. You provide a great service. You just need more people to know about it. And I'm going to help you find those people.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I think from our initial meeting, again, we talked about this, I think prior to was that, a lot of our partners go to these experiences, these events, and they learn a lot. They're listening to 25, 50 different speakers, right? And they're writing notes down, and then they go back on Monday or Tuesday, and they don't have any kind of practical application. They don't kind of know where to start. So I think we call that inspiration cliff. You get inspired and you're fired up, and then you don't know really what to do. So really proud, like I say, about the collaboration that we're working, that you're not only again giving the communication, the actual language models you use. We talked about that before in the keynotes, and things you're going to, tangible examples, things that people can do right away to make a difference, and then obviously apply those in through the workshop. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great experience for everybody, and we're really pleased to have you.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to come in. I agree. I've been to so many tech conferences. When I was a journalist, I would attend conferences almost every week. And man, would I just get put to sleep by some of these keynotes where people are they're talking their track. They're not even paying attention to the audience. They're not really thinking about what they need to take home and care about. Instead, they're just trying to fill that time. Or, you go to these endless panels where they're kind of haphazard. People don't really know, like, oh, should I answer this? Should you answer it? Or you get one person who just won't shut up and talks the whole time. And so I've been through that. And I went to enough of those talks to know, I don't want to be like that when I get up on stage. And so we're going to make this interactive. We're going to be asking you to raise your hands about what tools you've used. I'm going to be actually live adapting the talk to the audience and what you guys know more or less about, what you want to know more or less about. And yeah, I think that's a big part of this. And then we're going to really put it into practice. We're not even just going to leave you with your own notes. I'm going to send you home with notes of specifically a worksheet of some of the best opportunities and how you can apply them. And then in the workshop, we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to make sure that you leave not knowing this is a theory of something that could help you, but actually already putting it into practice.
Yeah. Well, listen, if people are jazzed up, I am. Craig, I can see you smiling. Craig, you're jazzed. You're ready to go now.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, man, we share the same sentiment on panels. I go to those panels. I'm like, what are we doing? What's happening?
Luckily,
man. Thanks, Josh.
So, if anyone, that's another thing that, is another opportunity. It's there may be local opportunities for you to do speaking the way that I'll be doing at this conference. And, I teach public speaking training. There's great ways that you can learn how to practice that, become more confident. And, I teach founders and entrepreneurs every day how to take a big, messy concept of their vision of the future and turn it into a super concise elevator pitch that grabs somebody's attention and makes them say, I want to know more about what you're building. And I want to do the same for all of you, to find what is differentiated about your business. What is it that customers love the most? And how can we bring that to the forefront of your public image? And whether that's through, just running into somebody, you never know where you're going to have that next opportunity come. Everybody in your business needs to be the chief storytelling officer. Everyone needs to know how to come up with, hey, this is how I can convey not only just diving into what our product does or what services we can offer, but what is the major problem that your customers are facing? How do you drive that emotional resonance, which makes a business say, man, we really need to level up our IT. We're not doing a good enough job here. We're not taking this seriously enough. How do you convince them that you have the real solution that they need? And then giving them the evidence that says, customers love us. We consistently outperform what people expect. And that's why our customers stick with us for so long. We're going to give you this sense of evidence that says, oh yeah, there could be ideas are a dime or a dozen, but this is the person who I will trust to execute on behalf of my business. So we're going to walk through all of this and how you can make sure anybody you come in contact with, online, offline, gets to know more about your business, learns to trust you, and inquires about how can you help them with IT.
Hey, Josh, just a question. And sorry, I didn't prepare this one, and we didn't really cover this, but you'll find what I find when I talk to MSPs, right? This is the SMB market, small medium business. They feel like, well, the social stuff doesn't work, right? I'm in a small community here. How am I going to even target it to them? Have you had any thought on that? Something like that we can address either maybe a quick right now on this call or when we get together in November?
Yeah, absolutely. I know it can feel tough when you often if you're starting from a small social media audience and you're like, hey, am I just shouting into the void? Is anybody hearing? Or I'm putting all this work into it and you get 2 likes and 100 views and you say was this really worth my time? But it is a snowball. You have to start somewhere. But that said, you have to get out of the building. You need to talk directly to the customers and figure out what is it that they care the most about and start writing for that. Start making it's less about, hey, how do I appeal to everybody in the world, but how do I appeal to the specific SMBs that I'm targeting? What are their biggest pain points? What are they scared of? And how can I return trust to their view of this industry? So yes, we're going to walk through specifically how do you do this in a scrappy motion that reaches these specific customers. And yeah, you're not trying to necessarily go viral for the whole world. You're trying to make these 10 companies that you're targeting really know about you. So whether that's through email drip campaigns, whether that's through case studies of customers that look like them, whether it's finding out, getting out of the building, asking them the questions and then solving their problems, whether it's, taking the common things that they're probably Googling every day with questions and giving them the answers right away. And we're going to find the right medium that works for you, the right format, the right tone, and the right distribution channel so you can actually reach those customers. And yeah, I agree. It's a tough one, but it's the same way that with sales, you start somewhere, you get some no's and you get stronger every time. The same thing with content. Most people's first book is not their best book. Most people's first social media post is far from their best one. We're going to teach you how to stay at it until you get something great.
I love it. Hey, Greg, just the last thing I want to say is, Josh, I love that you said snowballs, because one of the 3 core values that Evergreen has is rolling snowballs, right? It's about taking that snowball, adding to it. It starts small. I love it, man. I love that you said that.
Yeah, it's like, the compounding benefit of habits. If you do something consistently, even if you're only spending 10 minutes a day on it, you're going to get better at it quickly. And you're going to look back a few months later and say, wow, I really have transformed. And when you're doing it in a silo, it's difficult. But with these new AI tools, you have so much help. You basically have an assistant who can read your content and give you feedback. There's so much amazing education online. It used to be that you had to just figure this out for yourself. Now there's so many great ways. If you can learn to learn, you can learn so fast and leapfrog everybody else around you. And we're going to teach you not only just how to tactically execute on this, but how to learn so you stay future proof, so that no matter what changes in this industry, you know how to stay ahead of the wave.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I can tell you this half hour's got me pumped up, Craig. I don't know about you, but like I said, I'm ready to go. And I'm surprised. I should have listened to you, or should have asked you advice when I start posting some of these things for the IT Nation a month ago. We first talked. My whole guide post it's gone double viral or whatever it is. But hey, listen, we're so pleased to have you. Like I said, and so pleased with Evergreen and the partnership. I think everybody got a real good flavor of kind of what made me really love a lot about you, from your background to kind of your communication style. And I think just the knowledge, your energy and passion and willing to share, which is all heart and, of what we do for our partners. So, we're going to wrap it up for today. I think everybody got a good flavor. There's a registration in the link that we're posting, and we look forward to seeing everybody in November. So thanks, Craig, and thanks, Josh, very much. And we'll see you in a month.
See you all in Orlando.